Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
Edwards. They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby.
Welcome to Wolves After Dark. Timberwolves win 118-105 against a depleted Mavericks team, but still did what we should, dominated most of the game, if not all of the game, and had some decent performances. This is an important win. These are the games that you want to win. Today's stream, we're going to be talking about the game, of course, doing our tier list, talk a little bit about Giannis, maybe here at the beginning or the end. I'm not sure, however the conversation flows, because apparently the Timberwolves are, I don't know if front runner is the right word, but Shams has been using the Timberwolves as like his first name when he's talking about about Giannis. So that's interesting. And then we got a game tomorrow. So we're going to try to keep this one somewhat tight, short, tidy, whatever I'm trying to say. And as always, the show is brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring. You'll hear about them when we get to the tier list. Shout out 4th Generation Flooring. If we get to 50 likes on the stream, we will do a merch giveaway. And actually today, because I know this is kind of a lesser watched game, if we get to 50 likes on the stream, we'll do a hoodie giveaway instead of a t-shirt giveaway. So 50 likes, we do a hoodie giveaway in the Discord. Let's dive into it. First comment of the stream, LOL at the thumbnail, Giannis is on the Wolves already. Okay, maybe we will talk about Giannis right away. No, we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the game first. We'll talk about Giannis in a little bit. But hey, it's an interesting thought. It's certainly an interesting thought, like, and just like a fun thought experiment to kind of figure out like what it could be without any emotions. But we'll get into that. Didn't know we'd be getting a vid for this game. I honestly, the whole time I had planned on doing this regardless, but I also thought Cooper Flag was going to play for some reason. I didn't think that right before the game, but I thought that like coming into this game from like a couple days ago. So good win. I guess we are back. I don't know if we're back, but it felt a little bit better. I have had some time to calm down because the last stream I actually banned somebody that has been commenting all the time on these videos whenever I am at all critical of Julius Randle and at all praising Anthony Edwards. And I was very mad because it was like after our 5-game losing streak and all this, and I was getting too emotional. But I do think that the end result is probably good for my mental health, because those comments drove me crazy. But I've had some time to calm down because I was really upset. If you watched the last stream, I was pretty defeated at the end of that stream, these are the streams where it's like, oh man, doing this by myself is a little tough because I am very negative and I have nobody to balance out my thoughts. But we're back. But yeah, no, we still have some work to do. And I saw some stats over the last couple games and days and stuff like that, where it's like, when I can't remember who it was, and I hate that I can't remember. It was like Jace or one of these main Twitter guys for the Wolves. And it was basically like when the Wolves play even just like decent defense in a game, they're like undefeated or 12-1 or something crazy. So those are the things where it's like, okay, well, come playoff time, that's good. But I don't know. Gifted 5 subs, Kron. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, as always. And as I always say, all of these gifteds go right back. All of the income, I guess, from these goes right into the Wolves After Dark account for giveaways. So I appreciate that. Maybe someday there will be a model in which I take money from this. But at the moment, it is just going back to you guys. And honestly, guys, if you guys are getting a member, if you have, many of you guys keep your members over the months, and I truly do appreciate that. $3 a month going to keeping this show going is massively helpful. So seriously, I appreciate all of you that do that. It does not go unnoticed. I just don't have like a great way to thank you other than just to try to stream as much as I possibly can, even on nights like this where we play tomorrow. So thank you, Kron. W Kron. Tomorrow game against OKC will determine if we are really back. Actually, Zane, it kind of won't, because although Shea is going to play, that one random annoying guy on Twitter for OKC, he tweeted that like so many of their players are out. I got to look it up because I don't remember. But they have a lot of their kind of like medium important players out. It wasn't Shea though. It was like basically everybody but Shea. I can't remember. And of course now it's not showing up. But suffice it to say, there's a lot of people out. So we are still that 5 losing streak team. Don't let this fool you. I do think there's some element to that. I mean, I think it's kind of what I said about that tweet. If we play defense, we can be a top team. But by the way, Ant had a mid game, not because of a toe. He just played mid. He just didn't care. He just played so weak tonight. I mean, here's the thing. The thing with Ant in these games is like, if we win, I'm a little bit more okay with him being passive, because if that results in like Julius, who had over, I think, gotta pull it back up, but I think he had over 30 points. It's like, okay, that's pretty massive. Like, okay, yeah, Julius had 31, Nas had 23, and Ant ended up with 20, but like the quietest 20 ever. And then a lot of like high single digits. So it's like, I'm not trying to like excuse it, because like it was a pretty yucky game. And I don't necessarily think that this, like you're saying, I'm not sure that this was an injury thing. I do think he's injured, and I do think that will flare up for the rest of the season. But this game felt a lot more to me like, hey, I'm just going to let everybody else cook, which doesn't usually work for this team. So I'm willing to give him a pass tonight because of that, but I don't know. I'm going to need a 5-game win streak. I think that's kind of where I am too. I've had some faith restored, but certainly we are not back. Like, I am not back in the like, oh, we're totally good now. The only thing that has given me any comfort is that even though we slipped all the way to the 7th seed and almost the 8th seed, we really are still so close to being the 4 and 3 seed. Like, we're only 2.5 games or 2.5 games behind the Nuggets, like for the 3 seed, and 3 games behind the Spurs. So it's like, that's pretty, like, you're still right there. You're capable and able. You're not capable. You are able to slip up and lose some games and have bad stretches. I said this last game, even when I was super pissed. That's okay, but you have to make up for it at other times. So maybe that's a 5-game win streak. Maybe that's taking advantage of bad opponents, which is something that we never do, which is why it's super frustrating. But tonight was a good example of doing that. So go Wolves. Enjoy Wad Squad. Yes, Kron, you're amazing. Jalen, yeah, I think J-Dub's out. AJ, or however you say his name, Mitchell or whatever. There was one other, like one or two. Oh, I think Kason Wallace is still out. He's been out, I think, for a little while though. But Dystopian Utopia. I like this. We're on our way back. I can get on board with that, because we really have 1-2 now. The last game was kind of funky, right? I don't even remember. I put it out of my memory. Oh yeah, because people were out. That was such a weird game. I miss the old Ant that would dunk on you. Yeah, he even had an opportunity tonight where he could have dunked. But I think I was complaining about this in the Discord, but the only thing I will say is, one, I do think his toe is injured, so I'm sure that his toe is injured, so I'm sure that plays into it a little bit. And two, he's the times that he has tried to posterize people, which has been few and far between recently, like over the last 2 years, he has not been super successful. And he gets fouled a lot of the time on those and loses the ball, and then they don't call it. So it's kind of like, unfortunately, he's almost learning it as like a wasted possession, because he's like, it's just, I don't know. But he went for a poster dunk and got blocked. That was Dante. Or not, no. Yeah, Dante kind of got blocked. Maybe just hit the back of the rim. But time to trade for Giannis. See, I don't know how I feel about Giannis. I think we're going to talk about that after the tier list, though, because I could go on forever about a Giannis trade. I've been thinking about it all day since like the notifications started coming through. I mean, my initial thought is like, this is too complicated, and it's like there's just too many nuanced things here. It's not something I can just say, yes, I'm pro Giannis or anti Giannis. Of course, I'm pro having Giannis on my team, but at what cost? And like, are we looking at like a long-term thing for the team or a short-term? Like, are we viewing our window as 2 to 3 years, or are we viewing our window as like until Ant has been with the team for as long as Giannis has been with the Bucks? You know, I don't know. Behringer. Yeah. Non-Rudy minutes for. Oh yeah. Who do you think we get at the trade deadline? Do you think Behringer? Did I say Behringer? I don't know why on stream I only say Behringer, and when I'm at home talking to anybody else, I say Behringer. Behringer can function as a backup center for the non-Rudy minutes. I mean, tonight was super exciting. Again, we kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because he's playing against a severely depleted team. But he's just, Jim Pete kind of said it best. Like when he comes on the court, I just feel good energy. It just feels good, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm like that for Rudy too, because like Rudy just obviously has such a big impact. But the speed in which Behringer plays is like, I don't know, for being so young, it's pretty intriguing. I'm pretty excited about it, but we should probably get to the tier list. Because we're talking about player specifics, but I do like it. I'm so glad he got to play minutes. We're going to talk about it, but yes, let's get to the tier list. I still need to update this. Can I update this right now? Maybe. Let's see, because we don't have JV, and I still like. Was it Kappa? Was it your idea to do? Meh, we don't care about you, because I'm still kind of down for that. I just always forget until we get right here. Mike Conley. Although, shout out Mike. We'll talk about Mike in a second. But as always, the tier list is brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring, as you can see on the graphic here. And let's hear a little bit more from Cameron on 4th Generation Flooring. Or just get that. That's not what I meant. This episode of Wolves After Dark and this tier list are brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring, a local family-run business and a Wolves After Dark member with 4 generations of experience in carpet and vinyl flooring, 1 skilled crew, careful furniture moving, and competitive pricing on quality stocked products, plus access to a huge special order showroom. 4th Generation Flooring, quality work done right. 4th Gen Flooring, seriously, I appreciate them. They've been able to sponsor some giveaways. We still have more tickets to give away from 4th Generation Flooring, and they have sponsored several, if not dozens of giveaways here for us. So shout out 4th Gen Flooring in the chat. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out. A couple things. One, I had a Snapchat memory come up today that was a picture of me like this while I was streaming. Because I was so happy and I couldn't believe how many people were watching. And we had like 30 people watching. And now on a slow night, we've got 48 people watching on YouTube and like a dozen or 2 dozen people watching on Twitter. So, and this is like one of the slowest nights. I appreciate you all. If you're new here, I really do appreciate you. And as I said, 50 likes, we're doing a hoodie giveaway, not a t-shirt giveaway. So I appreciate you all. Anyways. All right, tier list. Let's get into it. Probably have some quick ones right off the bat because we've got players that didn't play much, like Clark. I don't want to be too negative on a win. I just really have not been feeling Clark lately. I'm still going to put him in meh, we care about you, because I don't think he was like unforgettably bad. Again, this is where, I don't know that I'd put him in meh, we don't care about you. That's why I hesitate on adding that tier. But I don't know. I didn't read off his stats. He played 11 minutes. He had no points. He was a positive out there. He was +9, but 0 of 2 shooting. His defense was good, but like the offense is just super uncomfortable. And recently what he's been doing is he gets the ball. He's catching the ball in the corners for 3 a lot, but he's not taking a lot of threes. Instead, he's pump faking or kind of just driving straight to the rim and doing a floater that just hasn't worked. We understand that he is a limited offensive player. I'm not expecting him to come out there and be like Russell Westbrook or like Kyrie Irving or something, but like I'm expecting, I don't know why I used Russell Westbrook as the first example. Clearly I'm a millennial. But like we're not expecting that, but we just need something. It's similar to the Mike situation where it's like, hey, we'll talk about Mike in a second, but like if you could just hit like a decent amount of your open threes, I'd be pretty happy. That's kind of how I feel about him, but I don't know. Yes, everyone liked the stream. Clark needs more minutes. I mean, I think that's the argument that a lot of players have in this situation where they don't look amazing is that they're like, I need more minutes in order to get into a rhythm. But at the same time, getting more minutes means like we also have to deal with your flaws as well as like you getting heated up or whatever I'm trying to say. But I don't know. Still, that is Manimal. This is the craziest thing. I totally agree that Clark has an amazing whistle compared to Ant. I don't know what it is that makes people or what it looks like, but he clearly is able to draw some contact. But anyways, I think it's meh. I have more faith in Clark shooting than Russ. Oh yeah, for sure. But oh yeah, let me put chat on the screen a little bit here. Perfect. Okay. Let's do Bones. Bones Highland. He had 12 minutes, or he had 7 points in 12 minutes. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 6 shooting. This felt like a good Bones game. He came in with some energy, had some nice, he was pushing the pace at times. Even got like a fast break layup at one point. This felt better. We've had a couple good Bones games in a row now. This, like, the last game was a really good Bones game. I didn't stream, but that was a good one. I think it's probably nice. I think I'm going to go with nice. I don't think it's any higher than nice. It wasn't like an amazing shooting performance. It wasn't. I don't think it was HSD. I mean, I don't really like. This was kind of like a boring-ish game. I mean, I'm not trying to like undersell this game. Like we had some fun in this game, and I enjoyed watching this game. But this is just nice, you know. And that's really all I have to say. It's pretty easy. Bones is either like all the way on or all the way off for me. It's like either he was like totally engaged, playing well to his strengths, or he was a complete zero, or he didn't play. I guess there's 3 options. But let's do Mike, who played 23 minutes, which means that he's going to need at least 3 weeks off now. He had 6 points, which is a season high. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, maybe. Was it a season high? No, it wasn't a season. No, I think he just had 9 points the other day. But he had 6 points, felt like 80, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, a really nice block. He was 2 of 6. He had 2 of 5 from 3. Honestly, this is what I'd like to be like the bare minimum from him. But at this moment in time, it's like pretty incredible. like based on our expectations for Mike, like this was like a pretty amazing game. Now, based on our expectations of Mike 2 years ago, as I said in the other stream, I mean, we're like, whoa, this was like a Wancho game. But he was not bad. Mike was a little better tonight, I would say, yeah. Mike made 2 shots. Finch won't ever rest him again, though. Yeah, there was some tweet. You guys have to follow Wolves and 6 on Twitter. They tweeted like some reaction where it was like Finch or like the Timberwolves are more willing to move Rob Dillingham than Mike Conley, and it's like this reaction. It's just so funny, but it is crazy that the love affair that he has with Mike. I mean, man, I won't lie. There was a point in this game where I was like, oh, I can kind of envision like in the playoffs we throw Mike in, and for some reason he just goes off one game. Like he just hits like 5 threes, and it's like A1 Mike in the playoffs or something. But I might have been hallucinating. I might have been on hard drugs. I don't know. Don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't know why I'm joking about doing drugs. Anyways, Mike, I mean, I feel like we can't put him in old. I feel like he was pretty good. A1 for Mike. I mean, this was like a pretty dang good game, but I'm not putting him in A1. I have zero faith. I know. I mean, oh my God. Somebody else in the Discord. I can't remember who. Was it you, Manimal? I think it was. Somebody was like, I have more faith in Rudy Gobert's threes than Mike Conley's. And that is, other than tonight, wildly accurate. I would legit rather see Rudy shoot threes. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think nice is a good grade for him. We're gonna give him nice. I think that's fair. Cool. Congrats, Mike. You made your way out of old. Who's up next? Let's do Baron J. Baron J. 16 minutes. He had 9 points, 4 rebounds, a sick block. He was 3 of 4, also 3 of 4 on his free throws. No turnovers. Of course, that's not really to be expected. Did have 2 fouls. I mean, guys, I love this game from him. I really love this game from him. And I don't know where to put him. I got hiccups now. I really don't know where to put him, though, because I feel it was definitely not meh. I feel like it was better than nice. I almost feel like it's cash or like HSD. I don't know. Johan's the GOAT tier. Oh, Clark County. I forgot. I don't know why I was just totally disregarding Clark County. Clark County might make some sense. I don't hate that. It's kind of both. It is. Let's see. I don't know that it's going to allow me because I could put it in between both because he kind of was both. Oh, yeah. Oh, kind of. We'll do that. Half and half. I'm pretty comfortable with that. Cash. I like it. But no, I mean, just on a whole, I love this game from him, and I'm really loving watching him play. This is, especially if he can continue to contribute for this team. I mean, I know we said this about Dillingham last year when he had like a 3-game stretch that was really nice, but this is something that the team does need. We need a little bit more of like a rebounder and somebody that it doesn't have to be Rudy Gobert in the non-Rudy Gobert minutes, but like just somebody that can do something similar to Rudy, even if it's in a different style, because obviously he's a little bit more of like your lob catcher. I know we've been throwing lobs to both of them, but like he's just very athletic, and springy. Like he's just very capable. So it's fun. And I love that the minute he comes in the game, we immediately are running sets to get lobs to him. And I'm like, okay, yes, more of this, please. So anyways, I'm loving it. He is, I mean, right now, one of my favorite players to watch, just because everything he's doing is it's not even frantic. It used to be frantic. Now it's just like, it's a decent, I mean, he still is a little frantic, but like, it's not the same as it was early this season. I'm really liking it. And at 19 or 20 or whatever, however young he is, I mean, I really like that. And I like it in 2 ways. If we're going to talk about a Giannis trade, which we're not going to yet, but if we're going to talk about a Giannis trade, I mean, they're going to want young players too. And I'm not like eager to like get rid of young players necessarily. And we'll talk about Giannis in a little bit. I'm not even sold on a Giannis trade. But if we were to do a Giannis trade, if they're looking for a young player to kind of convince them to get rid of him, he's reaching the point of like, I don't know if we can include him in trades because he's too valuable, but we'll see. We'll get to it. I guess we'll do Nas next because technically he's not a starter. Nas Reed, 28 minutes and 23 points in 28 minutes. He had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block. He was 9 of 17, only 3 of 10 from 3. That seems crazy, but he was pretty effective tonight. Did have 4 turnovers, did have 4 fouls. I felt like this was a pretty great game for Nas, though. The last half of those stats did not wow me. 4 turnovers and 4 fouls, and 3 of 10 from 3. But I felt like Nas was making the most important buckets tonight. I mean, Julius was too, because Julius was making buckets all night. But both of them were. Like, both of these two. But Nas's were just such good timing. He had 2 of his threes, apparently. 2 of his 3 threes were just like, oh, yeah, this is like killer. Because one of those was in the fourth when we were coming back, when the Mavs were coming back. And it was like, they brought it down to like 10 or less, or maybe even 8 or something like that. And then we pushed it back to 12, I think. And then he hit a 3 and it was like, okay, that feels good. That's a good rhythm. And I think he had another bucket in that too. I don't know. I just felt like he had good moments tonight. I'd be very comfortable putting him in cash, even though the 3-point shooting really wasn't there. I mean, 23 points in 28 minutes with 8 rebounds feels pretty amazing. I get it. Again, I don't want to say this asterisk after everything, but, some people like to clip things. It's like, yes, I understand that we were playing a Mavs team that was severely injured, but, or severely depleted. I think it's cash, though. We're going to do cash. Okay. Cash for Nas, cash plus. Middle of HSD and cash. I might keep it here for now, but I don't hate that idea. HSD or cash had a clutch. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And yeah, exactly. Okay. This is exactly what I just said. Perfect. Thank you, Carrot. This is a vintage Nas Reed game. This was a great game. So, anyways, that's Nas Reed. Now let's get to the starters. First up, let's do Dante. Dante was pretty quiet tonight. He had 28 minutes, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, though. Oh my god. And I wonder how many of those happened in the first quarter, because like the first 4 possessions for Dallas were turnovers. He had 3 in the first. I think he was a big part of all of those. But yeah, Dante was just pretty quiet tonight. Had that one nice 3, I think, or he had 2 threes, but one of them I remember. Honestly, it's probably just a meh. I mean, I hate that. It sounds kind of wrong, but like he just wasn't there that much tonight. But again, meh isn't terrible. This was like the better side of meh, fine. But he was a Maverick. That's what the Mavericks thought. Nice for Dante if he hit. If he would have hit that poster, oh my gosh, that was. We got to have somebody on our team hit a poster. I mean, Rudy's been postering people, but we need something else. I don't know. I feel like it's just a meh. I'm not going crazy. He underperformed his normal 4 field goals. He only had 3. He really does love that number. It's pretty crazy. That's got to be his average, right, for the season. I think we already went through this, right? Where is it? It doesn't have field goal attempts here. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We all know it. He takes 4 shots a game. No, he makes 4 shots a game. Okay. Next up, let's do Jaden. Also, a weirdly quiet game. 30 minutes at 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 3 of 8 as well. 2 of 5 from 3. 4 fouls. Wasn't a little bit of foul trouble. Also had those really, really stupid fouls, I think, at the end of the second. We had this like super interesting lineup where Berenger was out there. Jaden was out there. I think Nas was out there. I don't remember. It was an interesting, super long lineup. And he commits 2 fouls on 2 inbounds plays. I mean, I don't think they were before the whistle or before the ball came in. But either way, it was just like 2 fouls, and then immediately he has to sit down. It's like, okay, cool. There goes that roster idea, or that lineup idea. Very dumb. But yeah, I think it was a meh too. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but I think it was also a meh. I mean, if like those two are so similar, it's like they almost had the exact same stats. So again, not to say it was like not a great offensive game, fine defensive game, pretty good defensive game. I thought he actually played some pretty good defense. There were some players that were making shots over him. He's had a lot of that happening recently. It's got to be deflating. But anyways, meh is fine. We do care about you, Jaden. Who's up next? We've got Ant, Rudy, and Julius. Let's do Rudy first. Kind of another weird night for Rudy. Only had to play 21 minutes, and I'm gonna phrase it like that because I think that Berenger is the reason he only played 21 minutes. He had 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He was 2 of 7 from free throws. That was the major downfall of his game tonight. 2 turnovers, 4 fouls. But I don't know. I think this was less of Rudy not being effective out there and more of Berenger was just incredible. I just thought he played super well. But yes, that is true. I don't know. I think it was, this is probably meh. Again, these mehs are not so much like, hey, you sucked. It was just kind of like, hey, there really was no reason for you to like, I mean, there's just nothing super memorable, or like, I guess we're really kind of going on the unnoticed side here. I mean, I think Rudy had an impact tonight, so I'm not trying to diminish the impact that he has on a nightly basis, but I mean, yeah, there just wasn't a whole bunch. I mean, he only played 21 minutes. It's pretty crazy, but exactly. Yep. I totally agree. Totally agree. Rudy returning to the mean after a couple decent free throw shooting games. Yeah. I think though, in general, I mean, tonight was bad and tonight was concerning. I feel like the mean, I mean, realistically, what has he shot? I don't have those stats available quickly enough, but as a Timberwolf, I think he shot like, I think like 65%. I could be wrong, but this year has been way worse. He's been down like 50 or 55 or something like that. And I don't really get that. It's like the better his defense is, the worse his free throws are. I don't really understand, but not super worried about it. Right now, I'm really valuing him drawing those fouls, which he did a ton early. He did a ton early in this game tonight. So I don't know. It's meh. He was fine. I have no complaints. No major complaints other than the free throws. Next, we're gonna do Ant. Anthony Edwards, 38 minutes, and he had 20 points. He was 6 rebounds, 6 assists, so he was distributing a little bit more. 3 steals, a block. He was 6 of 17, 3 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line. Did have 2 turnovers, no fouls. Honestly, just kind of like a nothing game. There really just wasn't like a whole lot to talk about. I mean, like he had a couple impact moments where he had like a couple buckets where it was like, hey, okay, let me try to see if I can phrase this correctly. There's times like what I said early on in the stream today was like, Ant was a little bit more passive and just let the other players kind of rack up points, which worked tonight. I don't think normally does work. However, I think this season in particular, he's had a little bit more of an ability to let people cook in a sense and let them get comfortable on offense. And then when he can tell that the team needs a bucket, he has kind of risen to the occasion. So I think that Ant this season has done that. I think he did that tonight, but there was just not a whole lot of like, hey, we need you to go like on a run and like save the team. I guess there's 2 ways you could look at that. You could look at that as the team being like, hey, Ant, can you just save us from like our terrible shooting? Or you could look at it as Ant being very decisive in moments where he can feel that the team needs a bucket. I don't know. All of that yapping to say this was just meh. Obviously this was not like anything. This was like unnoticed. There was a large portion of the game where he was like, there was a point in the second quarter. How many minutes did he play? Because I was actually wondering in the first and second quarter, I was like, where is he? He played the entire first quarter and 6 minutes of the second quarter. He had 8 points in the first half on 5 shot attempts. Like, it was just unnoticed. He got a little frisky later in the game, but like it was really pretty low. Yeah, the third quarter was his time to shine at 9 points, but just nothing. Again, another one where it's like, hey, this wasn't really bad, but like, I mean, it wasn't really good either. And I think I don't know if coping is the right word. I might be covering for him or giving him too much of an excuse when I say those things that I said. But I do think there's some validity there. I don't think that's completely made up. So high nice for Ant. Wow. Okay. Ant seemed to hardly show up. He was 6 of 17. I almost did make note of that, but I think that meme is kind of dead. I think it's actually been dead the minute that it reached millennials in general. It was a meh Ant game. 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, 20 points, not meh. Yeah, but based on our expectations for Ant, I don't know. I think it's tricky because, if we really wanted to, we could go into the argument that I just made where he kind of steps in these clutch moments or moments that the team needs a bucket. And it's like, well, that level of like basketball IQ should like raise him up regardless of his stats, which I guess could be true, but it's a little bit more stats. It's a little like if there was like a balance, I don't know. It's probably like 60, 70, 67%, like stats. And then the rest is like feel, or like, I don't know. A decent rest of it is like feel. I don't know, something like that. But I think it was fine. It was a fine game. That might be a new tier. Fine. Maybe it's a meh, fine, nice, okay. No, I'm just kidding. A bunch of like medium tiers. It's funny. I feel like the games that are the the ones that are like less good, that aren't super good, aren't super bad, those are the ones that we always have the most disagreements on. But I don't know. I think it's just meh. Not necessarily bottom of meh. I just put him there to put him in line because it's kind of satisfying to see this. And tonight, last but not least, is Julius Randle with his mom in the crowd. Fly his mom to Target Center, get her to games because holy cow, he played well tonight. 34 minutes, he had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 12 of 21. Didn't hit any threes. Hit 7 of 7 free throws. Only 1 turnover, 3 fouls. But obviously, this was a very efficient game from Julius. And kind of, when Ant is either choosing to not play hard, choosing not to play aggressive and be the focal point of the offense, or it's just ending up being that way. These are the games where you really appreciate Julius Randle. For a 30-point game or 31-point game, like it was relatively, it wasn't quiet, but this is just a hard game to judge because it's the Mavs and it was like, you absolutely should be winning this game. So I'm not super enthused by anything other than Berenger just because he surprised me so much. Or he didn't really surprise me, but it's just so exciting. Where Julius, I'm a little bit more I kind of not expected because 30 is a lot of points and he really did keep us afloat. And maybe I'm taking it a little bit for granted. But no, this was a super solid game. 12 of 21. It's pretty much has to be cash. And honestly, he's probably higher than Nas. I guess I'm assuming he's cash. I have to look at chat. I don't know why. HSD for Julius. She should. Why isn't she? That's crazy. Got to be cash plus. It's a little funny how Najee Marshall could stand up to Julius. Yeah, there's some things like that that are a little frustrating, but it's the same with Ant. It's okay, well, we let Christian Braun bother us. He's kind of proven, or Brown. Now I can't remember. I haven't seen him play in so long. I don't remember how to say his name. Either way, you guys know who I'm talking about. We've let some smaller defenders that aren't as good kind of lock down Ant at times. There's some similar elements there for Julius and certain players, but he was good. Julius Caesar Randle is a great player and overall gentleman. I like it. Straight cash. Sorry I'm late. You're good. High cash is fine too. I think it's a high cash. I don't know if I want to go all the way to HSD. I feel like HSD, I got to feel some type of way. I got to be super excited. But he was good. He was good. No doubt about it. And obviously 31 points, that's he was 25% of our team tonight. And then also accounting for the rebounds and the assists, he was big tonight. 57% on 21 shots. I'll take that anytime. So there we go. And then we've got our little Giannis trade package down here at the bottom. No. What is happening with TJ? I haven't actually looked. I saw he had an update recently, but I don't know what that update was. I guess I could look. Because I think he was getting better, but I don't know how much better. Oh, I don't know why I thought that was going to be easy to find on Twitter. I don't know. I don't see it here, but it's a bad night of finding stats and things. But anyways, there's your tier list. Finch, honestly, if we had Finch on here, pretty high. Giving Berenger that many minutes, I'm a big fan of. So probably at least nice for him. So probably where I'd put him. But now we can talk a little bit about Giannis, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on him. First off, I'm going to ask you in the chat, what do you guys think about a Giannis trade? Think about it in two ways. One, do you think about it in I guess here's what I want you to do. When it comes to Giannis trades, I want you to think about it in two ways. One, what do you think about Giannis forgetting about any of his injuries right now, forgetting about his contract, forgetting about any of that, him with Ant and Rudy or something, some combination of players that are remaining after we trade away two of Nas, Julius, or Jaden. and or Jaden. And also the most important question: how do you feel about giving up Nas, Jaden, and or Randall plus Dillingham or Shannon or even Berenger? You know, I well, you guys answer that in the chat. Um, I don't, I don't know. I've been thinking about this all day because I can see a world in which this team is very interesting. I don't know that I necessarily want to be giving Nas away, and I also just don't know that. I mean, like, I understand that, you know, maybe I don't know. I guess because I was thinking Bobby Portis, but it's there's rumors that he's going to get traded too. So if they didn't have Bobby Portis, then Nas Reed would be a little bit. He would fit in so nicely after that. I don't want to get rid of Nas, and I don't really want to get rid of Jaden either. But I can see that if we were to trade and have a team of like Dante, I mean, I don't know why I said Dante first. That's so crazy. Like Ant, I'm thinking just like starting lineup. So like Dante is your point guard, Ant, Giannis, and then probably Randall or Nas, whichever one doesn't get traded, and then Rudy. That team, that's like an amazing starting five, and super fun defensively because you know you have Ant, who's a great defender. He's kind of like your closer defender, and then you'd have Giannis and Rudy out there. It's pretty interesting. And then Giannis's ability to get to the line too. I mean, like he's a force, and he's going to create so much gravity away from Ant. But you know, there's been other people that bring up good points about it. It's like, I mean, Giannis is older. I think he's 31. He's 30 something. That's all I know. I remember when I heard it today, it was like close-ish to Rudy's age. So there's one, the fact that he's older, so the championship window is immediately sped up. And then two, he's injured right now. And this is one of those injuries all season. It's kind of been, he's had this calf injury where he's missed a couple weeks and then he comes back and he missed a couple weeks. It's reminiscent of the Towns thing where it was like, oh God, this is not good. And you don't want to mess with a calf injury, and you definitely don't want to have him tear his Achilles or something crazy because with only a year and a half or 2 years or whatever's left on his contract, I mean, you're screwed if something happens. But then you go even further. You know, you're giving away your farm. You don't have a bench anymore. You're going for that super team model, which is not really proven to be that good. But on the flip side, then like, okay, let's say Giannis doesn't work. You've sold everything for him. Now you have Anthony Edwards and cap space. But it's also Minnesota, so you have like the Tundra tax, and people are going to have to really want to play with Ant. And I don't think people just want to play with Ant. They want to play with a system where they're going to win. And I'm not saying Anthony Edwards can't win on his own, but you know, the system that we have in place is a little bit more attractive than just Anthony Edwards on his own, I think. So I don't know. Let's see what you guys say, because you guys said a lot while I was going on my rant. I'm good. I guess, do you trade up the value curve, or would you rather trade for a better bench? And that's, I guess, maybe the more important question is like, what would you, if you knew, even like, let's imagine like the most reasonable Giannis trade. I don't know what that is, but like, let's say you don't have to give up, like in some random world, you don't have to give up Jaden, or you don't have to give up Nas. Like one of those two is staying. Would you rather do that deal and keep Jaden or something like that, or Nas? Or would you rather go out and trade some of our like second round picks and Dillingham and or Conley or TJ for like a Kobe White to improve the bench? Like, I guess it really comes down to, do you think that this team as currently constructed just needs like another bench piece to like go deep in the playoffs? Or do you think this team is hopeless when it comes to the playoffs, and you need to like pretty aggressively retool, similar to like the Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo? And I don't know. I think I lean, because the model that I always want to go for is a little bit more of the OKC model, where like their model is perfect because they, even though the second apron will ruin that current team, they still have so many draft picks that they could do anything they want. They could trade for like, there's a world in which they could be like, you know what? You're right. We can't have 3 supermax players in Chet, J-Dub, and Shea. So we're going to trade Chet and J-Dub to separate teams, get draft picks or something. And then we're going to use a boatload of draft picks to just go get Jokic and Luka, or Jokic and Giannis, or something like that. And just get like 2 top players to play with Shea, and then use the remaining million draft picks that they have to just, they have so many possibilities. It's crazy. And we're so far away from being able to do that. We really don't have that many assets. Like, our assets are Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon, Berenger, I guess, but like, do we want to trade him? I don't know. And then our other assets are like main players for us, like Jaden, like Randall, like Nas. And if we get rid of them, then it's like we really don't have anything behind us. We have some picks coming up that are like pick swaps. I think this next year is a pick swap with us in Utah or something like that. It's some weird stipulation. I can't remember. But we've traded all of our firsts. And the only other like asset that we have is like a 2028 swap or something. I don't know. I really struggle with this, but I don't F with Nas or Jaden or Berenger for Giannis. I know. It's just weird, but he's a great player, but I think selling the farm isn't a great idea this year. We should be trading on the margins. I think I agree with this take. I think offensively, Rudy and Giannis wouldn't work. I don't know. It's a 2K thing. I think it's a 2K thing. I'm very interested to see it in 2K because I feel like that would be dominant. In the real world, the same thing has, like, every iteration of this team, which I guess has only been 2 with Rudy, but like, we had to get used to Rudy. And then the second year with Rudy and Cat was like really good, got us to the Western Conference Finals. And then the first year of Rudy and Randall was rough, but we still made it to the conference finals. Am I doing that correctly? Yeah, we still made it to the conference finals. And now this is the second year of them? Yes, this is the second year of them. And we've got a lot more cohesion on this team in regards to Rudy and the offense. But, was it just lucky last year? Like, is it enough? I don't know. So either way, what I'm trying to say is I like the idea of Rudy and Giannis and Ant and whoever else you can keep, but there's a learning curve there that you're going to have to get over. So free throws would be off. The reverse Chick-fil-A. That's true. At this point, our bench is not. See, this is honestly probably my main concern. Isn't so much even the health, isn't the age, isn't the contract of Giannis. It's purely that it's like the super team model has just not really worked for teams. You need a bench. You need a full team. Like Denver. That's why Denver looks good right now, is because they're not even playing with Jokic and they're looking amazing. They have just a roster of players that are able to step up in moments. And similar to us when we've had Nickeil Alexander-Walker, it's like when we had Nah, that ability for somebody to step in was super valuable. But Crown says defensively, if Ant and Giannis are locked in, you're looking at 2 elite defenders, but we have 3.5 above average defenders already in Ant, Jaden, Rudy, and Clark. Berenger could eventually be there too. Yeah, that's true. I know. The thing is that it's like, I think one thing that makes me consider it a little bit more is that Jaden's offense just has not been consistent enough. And Giannis is obviously known for being a defensive monster, but he is just so overpowering on offense as well. It would be very, I'd be very interested to see the combo of them. I guess to say this, if the trade happened, regardless of whether I'm making the decision or not, I don't think I'm overly like mad at the trade happening. And I also don't know that I'm overly like happy. I'm curious though, but I think I'm still no. I think if you can keep Ant, Jaden, Nas, and Berenger grabbing Giannis works. Yeah. I don't know. See, and I don't know that I'm willing to give up. I'm not giving up Rudy after just like a couple games of Berenger, but Dante at the point I don't see working. Well, and this was kind of my thought too, is like you could also like somehow work out. And I don't even know if Drew Holiday is playing right now, but like could somehow get Drew Holiday here too, whether that's this year or next year. Like, you know, that's kind of interesting too. But um, I think the OKC model is the one that works. I think it is too. And it's going to work forever. And that's what you need is like a small market because the Lakers can, like the Lakers or the Knicks or even the Rockets or all these teams that like kind of have, or Miami, they kind of have this like safety net of like, well, you're in a great location that a lot of people want to live. So like you don't, and you have like a good like culture and whatever, like especially thinking like LA. Like LA could basically do anything and it doesn't matter because they'll be able to get free agents. Like they could trade all of their picks for whoever the heck they wanted. And it's like, oh, cool. Like that's all they need. So I don't know. It's unfair. And that's why these smaller market teams have to do the OKC model and really develop well, but also, trade star players away for young star players and draft picks. But do you consider Giannis a center or a forward on defense? I mean, well, that's like the other interesting thing that you could do. Like that's why it's just interesting to me because it's like there's a lot of things that you could play with a Giannis team, but it's just I want to see how that works before we commit to it, which of course is just not how it works. So in theory, we traded Na because the assumption was TJ, Rob, and Clark would fill the gap. And yes, this has been the most disappointing thing for me all season is that last season we were like, man, one of these guys basically has to go because we have so many players that are like on the rise and getting better. And like, we just don't have the money to really pay Na. And Na was not like perfectly consistent. He was very good for us, but like, he had his fair share of bad games and he still does, sometimes he'll shoot 3 of 15, but he just does have an overall impact on winning. And I mean, TJ's been injured, and when he hasn't been injured, he's been terrible this year. Rob has done nothing. Finch has not played him, but when he has played him, it's looked incredibly bad. And Clark, as we've kind of mentioned, has kind of been falling off a little bit lately. So I don't know. So how far away do we realistically think Berenger is away from being the equivalent of a Walker Kessler? That's funny. I don't know. I mean, I think we need to see a lot more consistency because he's had some really good games, but he's also had some like pretty scary, like he's nervous games. So I'd really like to see that, but I don't know. I hate how the CBA impacted the Wolves. Yeah, it really did mess things up. I will still, you guys, I think some of you guys hate me for this, but I'm okay with that. I love Karl Anthony Towns, the person, the advocate. Of course, he was speaking out recently better than any player on the Wolves did on the stuff that has happened in Minnesota regarding like ice and everything. Like his explanation, and Wemby's, by the way, shout out Wemby, but Towns and his willingness to stick with Minneapolis, that is something that I will always appreciate and greatly do miss, to be honest with you. But Towns the player on the Wolves, I think I just don't know that there was a way that a Towns team with him taking that big of the salary was going to win. Maybe we need to just give it a couple more years, but you guys know, if you guys watched, me and Ashwin shared our fair share of criticisms of Cat, and the player concerned is the wrong word to use. We're talking about an elite player in the league. Like he's a star, but like for a star, he has some concerning qualities, which he's running into a lot of those right now in New York. He's getting a lot of pressure right now, but Rob will be in China after his rookie deal ends. Speaking of which, Rob, he's on a team option next year, so he might not even like. We might not like. He's on a team option. Do we pick up that team option? At this moment in time, like that's 6 or 7 million. Oh my god! Of course, he's like 6.5 million. I don't know. I'd almost rather have the cap space. It's crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Giannis. All of that to say, I don't know. I think if we were looking like if we continue to look really bad, I think I'd be a little bit more willing to try something because you want to have something, we can't just let Julius become an untradeable asset or Nas become an untradeable asset in the bad way, or same with Jaden. But I do think a team that has Julius Randle playing well, like he did tonight, Nas Reed playing well, like he did tonight, and Jaden McDaniels doing something on offense, I think I prefer that team over even in a really good Giannis player, even a fully healthy Giannis. Just because I'd rather have three pretty high quality players, like really high quality players, than one elite one, if that makes sense. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of scared we're going to get a notification. I mean, Shams has really been talking about this and he's using Minnesota. I've seen other people tweeting out that, like, hey, the Wolves are a sleeper here. Now, there's so many smoke screens happening. There's so many distractions, all these things. This could be a smoke screen so that the Bulls are like, okay, fine, we'll take Rob instead of TJ. Like this could be that. So there's a lot of elements here. And I'm not willing to say that it's just like 100% real that we are interested in Giannis. Like I'm sure that there's some amount of interest there, but it's hard. And also, if you're thinking of it from the Bucks, it's like, why would you not? They have no picks. The Bucks are like screwed. They need, like, even if they were to get like Jaden and Nas plus Dilly and TJ and like all of our young players, like, I don't know that really helps them because they need draft picks and they need future assets and they need players that are going to like win now. I get that Jaden and Nas would be a great addition to that team, but that's like a trade that we're probably not doing, So like, I think other trades make more sense for them. I mean, I don't think the Gold State one with Kuminga plus an injured Jimmy Butler and whatever picks they can give up is that good, but I don't know. Be interesting, but thoughts on Io DeSumo for Rob and TJ? I mean, the TJ's tricky because if you're basing it off of the games that he's played this year, I mean, 100%. I'm down for anybody. He's played really bad. If you're basing it off of last year and some of his playoff performances, absolutely not. I'm at this point in time, I'm pretty comfortable giving up on Rob, which is really sad. I know I said earlier this season that I'd like to give him more and more time, but like he's getting worse with time. And on the broadcast the other day, I think it was Grady on the national game where it was like, well, Rob's coming in for the end of the game, so that's why he doesn't look too good. But it's like, I don't know, he just looks worse and worse every time I see him now. So Rob, I'm pretty comfortable because also the timeline. It's just a timeline thing that we've talked about where it's like, even if you're like, yeah, I want to be patient. Like, I think that Rob in a couple of years could be like a good player. If you believe that, then it's kind of like, well, that's fine. But like, what is our window? What is Anthony Edwards' window with the Timberwolves? Like, we should realistically, like, Giannis is in his 12th year with the Bucks or something like that. And Ant is in his like 6th year with us or something. So like, we still have time and we should have plenty of time here. This isn't like hey, you got to win in a year or two. Otherwise Ant's going to the Lakers or something like that. But it depends. What is Tim Connolly's vision? Is Tim Connolly's vision to win in the next 2 or 3 years? Then you probably need to get rid of Rob. But if you're like, hey, we're playing it slow and steady and we're just going to let some of these contracts run out on Julius, not that like Julius is a bad player, but like you're going to see how long you can ride that, or Rudy, and it's like, then after that we're going to try to go heavy into something, maybe that's an option. But if it's like, hey, we're trying to win in the next 2 to 3 years, then Rob is not going to happen. So, but TJ, yes, I mean, right now this year I'm comfortable with it. It's just tough. I'm okay dealing with TJ for a promising point guard. Yes. I mean, the point guard thing, yes. There's a part of me that still wants to entertain the Kyrie thing. I don't know that he'd want to, but if you could get Kyrie for relatively cheap, that's pretty interesting to me too. So, I mean, I definitely don't want to be giving up Jaden. I definitely don't want to really be giving up Nas. But Maybe Nas, but I don't know. If the Spurs kept Rob, would his career be better? I honestly don't know. Like I'm not necessarily this huge believer in the Timberwolves and their ability to like nurture and like develop young players. Like we've done that to a degree. Like, we have Ant and Jaden. Both of those guys have turned out to be obviously starter caliber, Western Conference caliber playoff players. But like, Jalen Clark is falling off a little bit. All those players like Rob and TJ, it's like, I just don't know, and there's been other countless ones too. I mean, we've got other players like Leonard Miller. We've got players and Josh Minot, Luka Garza. Like they've had their moments, but like realistically, they have not been. So, but I appreciate the $2 super chat. Thank you. And remember, if we get to 50 likes, we're doing a hoodie giveaway. Hoodie, not t-shirt. Hoodie. Kyrie's mother is from Minnesota, if I remember correctly. There's some Minnesota connection. You're right there. I don't remember what it is. There is a connection though. But I think he's been injured more than 50%. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm totally with you. I think he's been injured way more. So I don't know. Anyways, we play tomorrow. I said I was going to keep this short, and then I started yapping about what's his nuts? Giannis. Yeah, we play tomorrow. We play the Oklahoma City Thunder at home. However, as I mentioned, a lot of players are already out. Let's see. So it's AJ Mitchell. Is that how you say his name? AJ Mitchell. I don't know why I feel like it's a Jai. Kaysen Wallace is questionable, but I'm pretty sure that beat writer for OKC said he was out. J Dub is out. Alex Caruso is out. Topic or whoever is still out, of course. So they've got a lot of players out. Now they still have, it looks like Chet and Shea are still in. So of course they can still be a good team. But this will be fun. It's always a good game against OKC. And I think we should be relatively healthy. So yeah, we could use a win because let me make sure that the standings were accurate and that we didn't jump up or jump down. Yeah. So we're still in the 6th seed. We've won 2 in a row now. Our last 10 were 4 and 6 though. We're only 1 game out of the 4 seed, 2.5 games out of the 3 seed, and 3 games out of the 2 seed. It's like so reachable, even with, which is why it's even more frustrating that we just lost 5 in a row. Because if you win 2 of those games, I mean, you're like comfortably the 4 seed fighting for the 3 and 2 seed. Like, I mean, we are still. No, you basically are the 2 seed then. It's crazy. So super frustrating. Really wish we would have done that, but the West standings are so wild. It really is crazy. The only thing that we can take a little comfort in is that to be out of the play-in is to be the Mavericks, and they are a full 9.5 games behind us. So to miss the play-in would be pretty difficult. Not that I want to be a play-in team. We are not a play-in team. We should not be in the play-in. And if we are in the play-in, either crazy injury happened or we got to figure something else out. But it's pretty wild. Anyways, I think that's it for me tonight. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Like I said, when is that game tomorrow? It is, okay, so it's 6:30 my time. So that means that it's 8:30 Central. So it's a late game, but I will be live after the game. Looks like it's a prime game. Big game for the Wolves. Even with the injuries, still will be a challenge. Got to rise to the challenge and have a good game. We've had good games against OKC, so hopefully that's the case. Another win would be great. We'd be 30-19. We're 29 and 19 right now, which is like pretty frustrating that 29 and 19 is like barely the 6th seed. That's crazy. That's such a high winning percentage, but whatever. If you haven't already liked the stream, like I said, 50 likes. If we can get 19 likes here in 10 seconds, we'll do a hoodie giveaway. But Gonna have some ticket giveaways coming up. Thanks to Fourth Generation Flooring. I appreciate that. And as always, I'm trying to do this more often. Kron, 5 gifted. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. As always, you're the GOAT. Carrot, $2 super chat laptop fund. Appreciate it. And all of you that have re-upped your memberships, I appreciate that as well. I have some giveaways coming up here soon. We got to get the likes up, but we will have some giveaways here soon. Maybe even as early as tomorrow. Anyways, I appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you tomorrow. 52 wins, still possible. Intro as the outro. I will see you guys late tomorrow night.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
Edwards.